Yvonne Harvey-Williams is an entrepreneur, author, speaker, and TV personality. Yvonne has used her life experiences having to overcome tremendous adversity such as teen pregnancy, homelessness, being a victim of domestic abuse and violence, and dependency. She is the author of 5 books and the CEO and founder of Speak to Inspire LLC, a consulting business where she travels and speaks all over the country.
Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I want to just say thank you so much for having me. Thank you for inviting me. What an honor to be a part of this. What an honor to be I guess an agent, if you will, to kind of be the closing and pushing part of this conference. And I just want to say, for the most part, that whatever is happening in this world and whatever is going on in this world, we are the right ones. We are the individuals that were chosen for a time such as this to be able to go out and combat that which is trying to kill and destroy our neighborhoods, our cities, our families, and everything included. So my name is Yvonne Harvey-Williams, and I'm going to close this out by saying a couple of things. The first 2 things that stuck out when I was preparing for this, the first, let me just give you the first word, the word resilience. And I know we use that a lot when it comes to drug awareness and when it comes to drug prevention and when it comes to doing a lot of different things pertaining to prevention. But the word resilience for me, if you don't get anything else out of today and what I'm telling you within the next 20 minutes, please remember this. The word resilience for me, it's personal. It's personal. And I think any person that's involved in helping community and states and in combating this disease, if you will, of addiction, you have to make it personal. Many of you know me, many of you don't. But let me just start by saying I grew up in the 80s during the crack epidemic. My mother had me when she was 13. And at 14, she had 2 babies. My 18, she had 3. I was in a house with a drug addicted stepfather who was addicted to heroin and crack cocaine. And this individual was extremely abusive to my brothers and I. I saw firsthand the damage that drugs can do, not just to a community as a whole, but to a family, to the structure of a family. For me, I saw it in my home. So because I saw it, it became common. Now what we're seeing is we're seeing children who see this every single day on TV. They hear it every single day through their ear gate. They see it through their eye gate, and some of them even sing it, because what society has done is they have made drug addiction almost cool, like it's the cool thing to do. So for us, in combating this thing, we have to hit it head on by understanding that this is personal, and we will not and we cannot lose anyone else, not on our watch. Because it's common, or because people want to make it common, we have to stand up and say, just because it's common doesn't mean that it's right. Resilience stands out for me, because resilience is the thing that says, guess what? I'm not easily broken. Yeah, you may knock me down, but I'm not easily broken. For me growing up, I realized how important that word resilience was, because facing someone who was addicted to drugs, living in a community that was ravished by crack cocaine, watching people smoke crack in the hallways, watching people smoke crack on the corners, watching individuals shoot up dope, mainline it in my hallway, in my own home. I didn't have to go anywhere. I saw it in my home. It put a fear in me that made me want to disappear from earth. Like I didn't even want to be here anymore, because it made me afraid. One thing we cannot do in our push to restart with resilience, we cannot be afraid. We have to understand that we are equipped to do this. I heard for the last 30 minutes, individuals giving us pure knowledge and information, a plethora of skill set that they came to the table with today to share to us what we need to take back to our schools, what we need to take back to our communities, and what we even need to take back to the individuals, lawmakers, so to speak. So what we have to do is we have to put all fear aside. When you restart with resilience, that simply means this, that whatever I went through, whatever I've gone through, this cause for me is personal, and I'm going to make sure that I'm not going to stop, because people are depending on me to show up as other individuals' hope. Yet somebody even said it in the last video, we have hope, but that hope is important, because you don't gain hope by being afraid. You gain hope by being resilient, by being strong. And yes, fear is healthy, but not the fear that says we can't beat this thing. I'm on the side of saying that it can be 1,000 individuals that are suffering from something, and if I have the answer to help them with all of those thousands of issues that they're going through, I'm going to go through the rain, the storm, the mud, the earthquake, the fire, the winds, and everything else, so I can get that information to those individuals, because I need to help them shift their mindset to understand that what's fighting them and what's trying to destroy them is ultimately trying to destroy what's inside of them. Resilience for me, and resilience for all of us here today, it's simple. We've been hit, and it's no secret, with a pandemic that took out over 500,000 people in our country, over 500,000 people. But the drug epidemic has been, and the alcohol epidemic has been ravishing our communities for years and years and years. And we've watched the slow demise of friends and family members. Some of them now, even more than ever, they're hungry for this information. For those of us that share it, we cannot become discouraged. In our restarting, we have to make sure that we reboot with strength. We have to make sure that we reboot with power. We have to make sure that we restructure and that we become more engaged than ever before. We cannot be afraid to dialogue, because everything that's coming against our communities and families, and everything that's trying to attack us mentally, emotionally, and from a chemical standpoint, it's not playing fair. And so what I mean by not playing fair is we can't play fair. We have to continue to love, show kindness. And when we have a moment, if we recognize the entities of individuals that are dealing with certain things, we need to be more loving and more kind to them, but also be willing to give them the information, because now more than ever, hurting people are hungry for help. Ooh, that's a good one. Hurting people are hungry for help. They were hungry for hope. Now they're hungry for help and hope. You are the help. You are the hope. You are the tag, ding, 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 tag. You're it. You're the individual that's going to be the change, the subject matter of change. Yeah, it's going in talking to the lawmakers. It's going in getting more finances and more money to help us with this. But I believe the human touch is the most powerful thing that we can do. The human touch, the ability to be present, the ability to be in the moment. When we see people struggling, when we see people hurting, and not judge them and not think that they have to be cast away or thrown away, but acknowledge the fact that people are in pain, and then show up with so much of this resilience, this reboot that's inside of you, this restart that's inside of you, to say, I have the answer for that. I know exactly what it is. Get those individuals help, and then put them on your team, because I tend to find that the people who have gone through the stuff the most are the most powerful people to convince other people to come out. You are empowered when you've been through some stuff. You're empowered when you see your parents go through some things. You're empowered when you've seen your family members deal with addiction. You're empowered when you lose loved ones from suicide. You're empowered when you see people die from sickness. You're empowered when you watch people die from a hopelessness, not just a physical death, but a present death, a death where they're not here, they're numb, they're just walking through life, and they almost feel like there's nothing left for them to do but just lay down. You become empowered when you have the answer for that individual, but most importantly, you become the power for that person when you've dealt with it. See, this for me is personal. This for me is personal. When whoever invited me to come here, you knew that this was my passion. You knew that this was the thing that I love to do the most, because whenever I'm faced with the most horrible things that happen to me in my life, I almost feel like I have a righteous indignation. I almost feel like I have to go out there, and I have to go out and help more people, because what's trying to attack me and what's trying to hurt me is trying to take out that gift in me that connects to other individuals to make them better. So if you are someone and you know that what's inside of you is the gift to make someone else better, it's the power to make someone else better, and you yourself have been struggling, and even though we're talking about restarting, and we're talking about being powerful, and we're talking about being resilient, and we're talking about have your 4 points ready and have your dialogue and your conversation ready when you see lawmakers, so you can present the information in a way that they'll understand you and listen. Maybe you're the individual that has been struggling with the depression and with the oppression. Can I tell you a little something about resilience? The word resilience itself, the reality of that word It is a bouncing back, if you will. It is a coming back after taking a hit, after taking a blow, not necessarily destroyed, but something that gets you off kilter or it shakes you, but it doesn't necessarily destroy you. But what it does is it causes you to come back almost in a way that you're not deformed. You haven't lost, nothing looks different really about you, but internally, you know that something happened. Mentally, you know that there's something happening. Emotionally, you know that there's something happened. And I come to find out that the people who are in the service business, the individuals who work to help people the most, they're the individuals who are hurt the worst. They're the individuals who sometimes get knocked down the worst. They're the individuals who are often forgotten. They're the individuals who are thankful. People don't thank them enough. I call us the thankless society because people don't give us I call it the medicine, if you will, because appreciation is medicine to the soul. So sometimes when you do this work, it becomes so discouraging because you see individuals who, for whatever reason, maybe go back to old patterns and go back to old habits. Maybe you yourself have suffered because you've been home all year. You had to do school learning from learning remotely. You had to work remotely. You yourself didn't have the human touch or haven't had the human touch. Or maybe you're suffering with a sickness. Maybe you're feeling like physically, I just don't know. Maybe I should retire this. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Before you do that, when we look at this restarting through and by resilience, please understand this. There's not a person that's walking this earth that has ever been faced with any type of oppression and any type of thing that weighs them down and that beats them up psychologically and mentally, that has not come out with scars to prove it. You got your scars. You might even have had the wind knocked out of you last year, this year, year before last. Maybe you're thinking about retiring and throwing in the towel or passing the mantle. No. We still have some stuff that we need to get out of you now more than ever before, because what we just went through, what our country has just gone through, and what children are going home listening to, watching on television, seeing their family struggle financially. These are all the symptoms for them to fall victim and pray to make themselves numb the pain. And we don't have time for that. If I could just say it in my Jersey vernacular, we ain't got time for that. So what we have to do is we have to make sure that we are in this thing for the win. So wherever you are, just write it down, put it on a little, if you're taking notes, put it on a little piece of paper, text it to your friend, type it on the screen. I see some of you sending messages. Say it's personal this time. It's personal this time. And the reason why it's personal this time is because we have to go out and we have to throw the lifeline out for the individuals who are sitting home. They have given up on themselves. People have given up on them, but I know that there's something that's being created on the inside of them because of all of this pain and because of all of this stuff that has been going on, that potency that's going to come out of them to shake somebody else free from whatever addiction it is that they're going through and whatever addiction is they're dealing with it. That stuff is sitting in them, and we are the start buttons for them. We're restarting, but we're the start buttons for them. And we can't start with a pretty little tap and a pretty little kiss. We got to grab them and get them. And we got to talk to them, and not confrontational, but give them so much love and kindness and feed them so much knowledge and information and hold on to them, check on them. Listen, the best medicine when you don't feel like doing stuff, I realize this, especially in the business. I've been doing it for 28 years, and I deal with some heavy stuff. I deal with children wanting to commit suicide. I deal with individuals who I could have just left their home and they just finished cutting. They cut themselves from their ankle all the way up to their inner thighs. I've been in situations where I've had to walk up on a scene where someone has put too much heroin in their bodies and they're completely out and have to get a shot of Narcan. I have family members to this day that are struggling with sobriety. I myself was a functioning alcoholic at 14 and 15 years old. I was homeless and on the streets, smoking weed, doing everything. A teenage mother, pregnant, had a miscarriage, tried to commit suicide multiple times. And what I understand, and I'm telling you, what you need to know if you're on this line, if you're just getting started, if you've been in this thing for a very long time, what you have to understand is that thing that's inside of you, the thing We call it resilience, but I like to call it potency. That potency that's in you, that's stronger than any kind of drug that a person can consume. Someone is waiting on that. And I need you to tap back in. I need you to check in. And on those days that you're having the hardest times and you're struggling, especially mentally, because what happens mentally and emotionally, especially in the last year, people are so depressed. People are considering and contemplating suicide. They are doing it, checking out, leaving families. Oh my, it's just, the stories go on and on and on. But what we have to decide to do when we hear that stuff and that stuff starts weighing us down, and we even look at our own life and our own situations, that stuff starts weighing you down, here's what I want you to do. That potency that's inside of you, all the information, knowledge, the passion you have to help people, the desire that you have to want to change the world, because some of y'all on here are world changers, you're world shakers. Some of you on here, you're sitting on go. You're sitting already. You're like, whoa, Miss Yvonne, I can't wait for you to get done. I got a few people I need to call right now. The moment the oppression, the moment the sadness, the moment that any of that starts to hit you, I need you to find at least 5 people that you can encourage. 5 people you haven't talked to in a long time and you know that they're struggling. 5 people that you know that are going through something way worse than you are. And I want you to start a dialogue going back and forth with them. Hey, how are you? Just checking in. You okay today? You're all right today? I just want to know. I love you. I don't want anything from you. I just want to let you know I'm here for you. You know what I'm saying? If you ever need to listening here, I'm here for you. What that does is, so for some strange reason, what that does is it causes you to have this, oh my gosh, this explosion on the inside, because you actually feel like, okay, I can feel purpose bubbling up inside of me again. Okay, I can feel my passion happening. Because if you really, really reach out to somebody who needs it, the first thing they say to you, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I really needed this today. And it's like a boom, it's like a fire. It's like a reaction that happens almost inside of you. And you almost become I will say this, and I don't know if this is healthy or not. All the doctors on the line, check me if I'm wrong, but I almost have an addiction to helping people. I have an addiction to loving people. I just want to love them and not help them where it hurts me. I'm talking about help them where it makes me almost feel like, oh my gosh, I lived my purpose today. I released that potency and that power that's inside of me today. I gave someone information to get them to the next destination so that they can be whoever it is that they need to be. I use my gift today. My gift is inspiration. Today, right now, I'm using it with you. That's why I said it's personal for me. My husband just had surgery. He's in the other room right now. We got him back on from surgery. I've been up for 2 nights in a row. And at the last minute, I accepted this today. And I accepted it because when I feel like I need to do something to shift my mind, I use my gift. I use the power of inspiration that's inside of me. I use the very thing that I was born to do, because the thing that tried to kill me didn't win. The thing that tried to kill my mind, watching individuals shoot drugs up in my home, being physically abused from a toddler to 13, living homeless on the streets, the things that tried to kill me didn't kill me. So when I say tap in, tap all the way in. This is personal for me. The level of resilience that we have to have this time around, it can't be play, because we have songs that's perpetuating Percocets and Mollies. We have songs that's perpetuating individuals getting drunk until they can't anymore. We have songs that perpetuate individuals doing cocktails of pills. All the young people that are checked in on this line right now, and if you're a teenager, you're a student, and you have been sitting here through this conference for the last day or so. Well, I want you to really, really, really think, and I want you to be honest with yourself, and you know individuals, at least 10 of them that you know, that get excited about singing songs about drugs. These are the individuals we want to win on our team. These are the individuals we want to help give influence to so they can influence people to pull them towards our team. Because now more than ever, it is time for us to prove that we have what it takes so that we can help individuals come out of this haze that has been going on with called drugs, to debilitate them from being their best self and watching a family be made whole because someone that we touch with our words, with our information, with our power, and with our agreement to say, today I restart. Today I restart. And I'm not just restarting because somebody made me sign up. I'm not just restarting because somebody has given me a paycheck. I'm not just restarting because somebody told me this was a good thing to do. I'm restarting because I understand that what's inside of me has the ability to heal someone. What's inside of me has the ability to help someone. The power and potency that's inside of me that I've accumulated through the years of going through pain, the years of being knocked down, the years of having to be resilient when I didn't have a choice, the years of not going without, the years of going without, not having, and watching individuals die from this horrible, horrible disease that we call drugs. What we need to understand is we cannot look at that anymore and think that that's somebody else's problem. No, it's personal. It's personal for us this time. Today, when you restart with resilience, I want you to use this other word, and then I'm gonna close out because I think I'm almost out of my time. You guys doing all right? Go check in. I get ahead of myself so far sometimes. It's personal this time. That's right, Madeline. It's personal this time. It's personal. This word, when I was preparing to come on live, hit me like a brick falling out the sky. And that word is called improvise. Sometimes when you don't have everything you need to combat whatever it is that you're going through, separate from our jobs, separate from our callings, separate from everything else, sometimes we have to improvise. That word improvise, if nothing else, that word has probably been my life more, maybe even a little bit more than resilience. The word improvise is simple. It means to create spontaneously without preparation. Because when we engage in the community, we engage with lawmakers, when we engage with individuals, when we talk from the heart, that's spontaneity. That doesn't come from out the sky. Improvision is something that's already in you. We just got to tap into it. Now more than ever, you're going to be put on this. Listen, if you say yes to this and you tap into restarting with resiliency, I want you to understand something. You have to say yes to it and do it with the want to, with looking around and saying, I can't, what is happening to our world? What is going on here? You have to literally take it on as a personal mission. And the word improvise is the thing that has resonated with me through this last year, because it taught me how to become even more creative, even more spontaneous without using so much preparation. You want to know why? Because when I see someone at a supermarket and they're sitting on the ground and they're asking me for change, and I can see track marks going up and down their veins. I don't have time to Google. I don't have time to figure out all this stuff. I have to come from a place that, yeah, I've been prepared from a long time ago, but it has to be inside of me for me to quickly give them something that's so creative. And typically I find out when that happens to me is when I am intentional about helping someone, when I'm intentional about my purpose, when I am intentional about going after individuals who need help and not being so sidetracked by the day. Because what happens is when you're in that zone, improvisation is easy. Spontaneity is easy. And it almost is like everything falls into place around you. I did this yesterday. Somebody asked me for some money and I stood still for just a second and I was about to just give them money and jump in my car. And then I just stopped. I said, no, that's just not enough. I wanted the person to give me eye contact. I said, look, can you look me in my eyes, please? And the young man said, yes, ma'am. He looked me in my eyes and I said this to him. I said, listen, I love you. I said, you don't even know me, but I love you and I care about you. And I care about everything that's going on with you. I said, you'll never see me again another day in your life, but I don't want you to ever walk away from me if you do ever see me again without you hearing the word today or the words today. I love you. So I love you. That creative thing that happened to me, it was like a fire. People around me started talking to him, shaking his hand, giving him high fives. Can I tell you something? Spontaneity, improvising, and being resilient, all working together. Guess what? It causes a chain reaction. It causes a wildfire to occur. So what I want you to do when you go back to your perspective, I don't want you to go back just saying, oh, we did this today and we heard from these individuals and they told us what to do and I got a chance to talk to and see the governor. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. But I want you to be so excited about what's about to happen, because you know that potentially what you are embarking on is saving lives, saving families, saving generations, creating legacies and reference points for family members who might not ever in their lives ever have the opportunity unless they encounter you again. I want you to make sure you don't leave someone's presence without being genuinely and spontaneously loving and kind, giving them information, but being so excited that it sets everything around you on fire. And when it sets everything around you on fire, people will remember that moment. They'll remember what it felt like in that moment. And really, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to cause a shift in somebody's mindset. And sometimes in order to do that, you have to do something extremely, extremely spontaneous and creative. That's what the entertainment life and the entertainment world is doing. But anyway, I came all the way here from my office that I hardly ever come in because I'm always busy, just to let you know that I love you guys. And I'm so honored and humbled just to give my little points of power to close this out. I hope we all take this personal, and I hope for us in this whole resilience thing that we understand the power that's inside of us and the ability that it has to shift and change lives. Dr. Greg, thank you so much for always supporting me and giving me thumbs up and trusting me with this platform. Carmen, Esther, I know some of you on here, Ruth, I don't want to start calling names, but for those of you that are my family, mi familia, that's on here right now, and we have said that, yeah, we're restarting, we're tapping back in again. This is it, we're gonna do it. We've been through a heck of a year. Some of us have the scars to prove it. Let's turn that around now. Let's use that now to empower, to engage, to encourage, to elevate, to uplift, to reboot, to have that resilience. So when we see someone, we're not looking at them in a judgmental way, but we're looking at them in such a kind and loving way. And we're saying, man, if you only knew who you were outside of this, if you only knew who you really are, if you only knew what the change that you can do and make in someone else's life, if you ever overcome this, you can probably save a whole city. You're looking at somebody who's been sober for over 27 years now. And I say that humbly because honestly, you know, I just know that young people are tired of being disappointed. So I try every day of my life to do something so that they can say, well, at least she was a woman of her word. At least if she said she was going to do it, she did it. And so I want to make sure that they understand that it's hard, but it's worth it. It's not easy, but it's worth it. I love you. God bless you. Thank you for the work that you've done. Thank you for the sacrifices you've made, for every person that's on this live, and from my office to your stations.